Welcome to selfdiscoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Health is Your Choice, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. My wonderful guest is Michele Molitor. We're going to be talking about burnout. I'm sure everybody's been through that. The high-pressure career that demanded perfection. And she saw firsthand how self-doubt, people-pleasing, and anxiety can quietly erode even the most capable of us. And she became obsessed with understanding how we can break those cycles, not just cope, but truly heal. And today she helps others do the same, to release the patterns that no longer serve them, reconnect with their worth, lead with their calm, clarity, and confidence. Because when we stop performing and start aligning to who we really are, that's when the power lives. She started her career in a fast-paced world of high tech, climbing the ladder as a creative director in Silicon Valley. From the outside, everything looked shiny, but on the inside, she was unraveling. And after being bullied out of her role, she was left reeling with the massive case of imposter syndrome and painful question: who am I without the title? The question became the turning point, and it launched a decade-long journey into healing, self-inquiry, transformation, and she dove deep into the neuroscience, coaching, hypnotherapy, and psychology of human behavior, not just to help others, but to first rebuild herself from the inside out. And today she is not just a coach or a therapist, she's a guide, a fellow traveler, a woman who knows what it feels like to feel burnt out and to find her way back to clarity, purpose, and power. And we're going to be looking at her wonderful book, I Am Perfectly Flawsome. Now, if anybody has listened to my shows, you know I use this wonderful word flawsome a great deal. I think it is absolutely wonderful. And you've done it in the beautiful bowl that's been put back together with gold. My analogy on it is taking our shattered lives and putting ourselves back together with self-love. But we become more valuable when we put ourselves back together, because we truly do understand who, what, and why we are, and we embrace ourselves from the inside out. And that's when we really start living, isn't it, Michele?
Absolutely. So thank you, Miss Sarah, for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here and talk with you about all these things because, as you mentioned, I have lived them on multiple occasions, and I'm super passionate about helping other people not go through those challenges if they can avoid them.
And sometimes we have to go through them. They're the nudge, nudge, wink, or little cosmic 2x4 for us to pay attention, or for us
Right.
to actually realize I'm stressed out. We have to kind of get there. But then it's like we don't have to go down the rabbit hole with it. It's like recognizing you're in that space. Okay, now what can I do about it? Like this, your health is your choice. Is that recognizing you're in stress? What can you do? Whom can you turn to? Who understands what you're going through? How do you apply it to your own life? That's really where the power is, isn't it?
Absolutely. The very first step is just recognizing like, oh wow, I'm feeling really anxious. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I'm feeling on the verge or in the midst of burnout. And oftentimes when I hear from my clients is, I know that I need to do something different.
Hmm.
I have to do it differently, but
Yes,
I don't know what that needs to be or how that's supposed to look or even how it's supposed to feel. But I know that I can't keep doing it this way.
exactly. That's the first step of recognizing whatever you're doing ain't working. And then the willingness to go down the journey and going, okay, but how did I get here? Am I repeating DNA patterns? Expectation patterns? Am I living in somebody's ideal of what I should be? Am I truly being who I am? And if you're not willing to ask those questions, you're not ready to heal, because those are very hard questions we do need to ask ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's imperative actually to stop and pause and consider, how am I at the root cause?
Mm.
Or what part of me is at the root cause? Or even more to a point, what's the belief that I have about myself that is
Mm.
actually at the very ground floor of why I'm people pleasing, I'm overgiving, I'm overcommitting, that leads to the anxiety, the burnout, the overwhelm, the imposter syndrome, all the things that impact us here, oftentimes because they're living in our heart or our gut,
Mhm.
a belief that says, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not deserving unless I do
Mm.
XYZ, right?
I've got to fit in. I've got to rise above. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And it's like the shoulds and the gottas. Let's throw them out.
Yeah,
The whole thing is about knowing who you are being. And you are a being that's being a human, right? But tap into
right.
your beingness, the essence of who you are, because that is enough. That's where your beautiful flawsomeness is at its best. And it's embracing that. But how do we embrace that if we're in denial or we're still living up to an expectation that is an illusion and very delusional?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Um, in our book, I Am Perfectly Flawsome, how embracing imperfection makes us better. We talk about stop shooting on yourself. I
Yeah,
should
yeah.
be this, or I should be doing that, or it should look a different way. Well, the reality is it is the way it is in this moment. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean it can't change, but we also have to stop and pause and ask ourselves, is 100% or 110% really what's required of me in this particular instance?
Mm.
Or will 90 or 95% do? Not to say that we want to do anything half ass or mediocre, but it's about striving for excellence versus trying to be perfect, because perfect is simply an illusion.
There are perfect moments in time, but
Yes.
there is no such thing as perfection,
Right.
right? And those,
Perfection is in the eye of the beholder, right?
yes,
I
yes.
can look at, one thing and you could think it was rubbish and I
Mm,
think it's, oh my gosh, the most
mm,
beautiful thing I've ever seen. Art, for example, is
yes.
very subjective. You can go to, you know, national museums, and I remember I was in Atlanta at the Atlanta Museum of Art, and it was called White on White, and it was a white canvas. I'm like, how does this get into this beautiful museum? Like, anybody could do that. Like,
Mm,
that doesn't take talent. I don't get that,
mm.
right? And so we all have those moments of looking both at ourselves and at others, like, girl, what is that, right? And instead going, huh, isn't that interesting? She has a different
It
perspective or
sparked a
different take.
conversation. And that's kind of what we want to do is spark a conversation with ourselves.
Right.
And it's only when we're in space and time that we can sit in ourselves and start hearing the chatter, chatter, chatter and go, okay, no, 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 I've heard you, I've heard you, I've heard you. I want to hear you deep down inside. I'm giving you space, I'm giving you time, I'm giving you a blank canvas for you to reveal yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And that is the joy of the work that
Mm,
I get to do with my clients, is holding that safe space.
mm,
Um, I call it my value of ocean, being a vast, wide, deep container of love that folks can step into, they can thrash about in, they can have their floaty noodles or their pink flamingo floaty,
yeah.
right? But they get to be who they are naturally without any judgment, without any criticism. And it allows them to relax into who they are
Mm,
naturally. And from that place, then I can gently and compassionately go, there's this thing on the end of your nose. Should we look there for a minute and
mm,
see what we can see? And they're like, oh, right, right. Because oftentimes we have these blinders on
yes.
because of our programming, because of our life experiences, because of the beliefs that we carry about ourselves. We can't see past
Hmm.
those blinders. But my job is to help people take them off and go, oh, wow, all of this has always been available to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, holy mackerel. That's why, when we talk about your health is your choice, it's important to go, oh, it's my choice to put whatever I'm putting in my mouth,
Mhm,
right? It's my choice to think the thoughts that I'm thinking.
mhm,
Now, there are those automatic negative thoughts or ants, as they're often referred to, right? And so it's about catching yourself with those
mhm.
automatic negative thoughts and going, what do I want to tell myself instead that feels more empowering, more uplifting versus pulling me down into the pit?
We don't know what we don't know, and it's only when we're willing to know that things will be revealed, right? And that willingness to go, it ain't working for me. That
Yes.
willingness to say, I have lived up to everybody else's expectation, but I feel spat out. I feel worn out. I feel unvalued. And that's because you're looking for that validation and that value on the outside. And the
Yes.
only person that can give you permission and love and embracement is from the inside out. And when
Yes.
somebody says, hey, blinkers off, all the answers you ever seek are around you to support what's within you. But you can't find the within. Okay, hurry up, tell me what I need to do. Mm-mm. It doesn't happen like that. It has to be slow down, calm down, take a breath, become centered, feel it, even if there's like a little hurricane going on in there. How do we extract that hurricane and find the peace? But if we're not willing to invest in ourselves, giving it the time and the nurturing, then we're not going to get there. This isn't like, oh, well, can it be done by Tuesday? No,
Right.
this
It's
is
not
a
it's
journey.
not a
Yeah.
red pill or a blue pill.
No.
Let's look there and see what
Mhm,
we find and excavate the
mhm.
unprocessed pain, the the old belief systems. And it's important for your listeners to know the work that I do as a clinical hypnotherapist and a coach is not about reliving the past.
No.
It's about noticing it. Like, wow,
Mm.
I can see that's the situation I was in when I was a little kid. And yeah, that was really terrible. But now as an adult, I can see it through different lenses and different perspectives and make a different choice about myself that then is very uplifting and supportive versus, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm a horrible
Yeah.
person, et cetera, et cetera.
It's changing the dialogue. A little side story of my daughter could not sleep on her own, could not sleep in the dark. I would wake up in the night. She's either on the floor or in bed with me. And I took her to get hypnotized to find out what was the problem. Why was she so afraid? Ferocious in the day when she was awake, but at night, terrified. And it turns out that she had had 3 lifetimes where she'd been abandoned in the dark. And
Mm.
she was only 5, but we were able to tell her that is not you. You can let that go. You're safe now. You're loved and you're safe. It really, over a matter of a couple of months, I don't even sure it was that she slept with the light on in her room, no longer coming into me, and eventually slept in the dark without any problem. And sometimes we don't realize we're carrying stuff from past lives,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or even DNA from our parents, trauma that they've had, it's them poured into us. And we don't realize it. Why am I feeling like this? There's nothing that's happened that make me feel like this, or I don't understand. And through hypnosis, we get to reveal, ah, that's what's chasing you. That's what's in your
Yes.
way.
It's
This
so
is,
fascinating.
face it and realize it's not you. It's not you now, right? You can release it, and it's like an enormous weight off your shoulders.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I love hypnotherapy as a
Mm.
tool. I
Mm.
because it allows us to bypass the critical judging mind
Yes.
and get at those deeply held beliefs and structures that is often intergenerational trauma that
Mm.
literally is handed down from one generation to the next through our DNA. We
Absolutely.
have no
Yes.
control over it. We
No.
have no awareness of it. And yet we still have these feelings of angst, of worry, of fear, of abandonment,
Mm.
right? And and so in a state of hypnosis, our minds are free to go to those other
Yeah.
places and to remember to bubble up to the surface the challenges and the trials of those other periods
Hmm.
and go, oh, right, okay, I'm not in that place anymore. And it's really about getting people to come back to their bodies
Yes.
and recognize what's mine and what was someone else's. That might have been your parents, your caregivers, that might have been your grandparents, your great grandparents. But it's pretty mind-boggling if you stop and
Mm.
think, like, what were the challenges that my grandmother went through, or
Right.
my great grandmother, or my great great grandmother, right? Um, I I'm blessed to have been given when I was 16. My grandparents gave me the coat of arms for my middle name, which is
Mm.
Carrie. And when I finally sat down and reviewed it as an adult, it goes back to the 14th century.
Mm.
The family lineage goes all the way back
Yeah.
that far through wars and
Mm.
famines and all the things, right? And so all of that pain and suffering and challenges comes forward to degrees and
It's the
impacts
coding.
us. Right. It's absolutely the coding. And so um, I see my role is to help people become their own change makers
Hmm.
for their own lineage, for their own family, their children, their grandchildren, their
Yeah.
great grandchildren, to stop the pain, the false beliefs in their
Mm.
tracks and let them go so that they're no longer impacting generations to come.
Exactly. Because so many times things are happening and you have no understanding of how or why. Why do I react this way? My logics, my this and that tell me not to, but then I am responding in this way. And that is
Hmm?
because somewhere along the line, it was a trigger for whoever in the past. And it's part of your coding in your chemistry, in your building blocks. And, we have trillions of cells in our body, and each one of them has a memory, right? So, if we are able to clear them and able to look at them, and even able to say to them, wow, you were so strong. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but you're safe now, right?
Right.
I am
Absolutely.
supported now. And that changes the messaging from that. Because, I'm very much about a person of on your journey of life to sometimes just pause and look back. Gosh, look how far I've come. Look how I used to react to that. Look how I used to do that. Look where I am now. Oh, yeah, I've still got a ways to go. But my goodness, look how far I've come.
Right. Because we're always learning.
Yes.
Right. Or hopefully
Yeah,
anyway. I'm
we
a
should be.
lifelong learner,
Yes.
right? Like, can I have another course, please? Thank you
Yes.
very much. Can I have another book? Um, and and I also recognize there are many who are not that way, right? Who go through life with their blinders on, and that's all they know, and that's all they want to know,
Exactly. You
right?
can't help people unless they're willing to help themselves. And
Exactly.
that is our choice. Our health is our choice. And we've got to realize, though, that if our health is suffering, yes, it could be what we're putting in and on, and it could be our environment. It could be something that's manifested through stress, anxiety, or whatever, or it could be whatever it is. The whole point is you have a choice to educate yourself on what's caused it. What can you do, right? How can you combat it? How can you heal yourself? And yes, you reach out to other people to help you because they're the experts, but it's your choice to want to be healed and to work with these other mediums to help you navigate through whatever it is you're facing. It isn't about somebody fix me or do it for me. No, it's your life. You've got to do it. You've got to participate in it. But there are so many people there that will support you along the road. Uh,
Yes,
but
absolutely. I
you've got to
have,
face that you need help.
yeah, yeah. I had a client a few years ago reach out to me with severe IBS,
Mm.
inflammatory bowel syndrome, and anxiety and and depression as a result. And she had her
Mm.
own business, but she was fearful to go too far from her home
I
because she
understand.
was afraid of how her body was going to react poorly. And through our work together, we were able to get at the root cause of it, which
Yeah.
as as a a, a gal in high school, she was the star basketball player and her dad happened to be their coach. No matter
Mm.
how well she played, he would still berate her on the drive
Yeah.
home. You played like crap. I can't believe you missed that shot. Da 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 da. Da. And that manifested for her as toxic perfectionism, overgiving, people pleasing, which then manifested in her body as
Yes.
chronic IBS. She'd had it
Yes.
for 15 years.
Hmm.
And once we got at that root and started to shift her thinking about it, her IBS went away.
I have suffered from IBS. It's part of fibromyalgia. So, but
Mhm.
it kind of is what triggered. That's what I found out. I had fibro, and it used to be really, really bad. And if I ever get it now, then I know, oh, you haven't paid attention to the warning. You're exhausted. You're this. You're that.
Mhm.
And so it's flaring up because you are out of sync and you
Right.
need to take time out. It is to pay attention to those warning signs that say, switch everything off. It's time to nurture you. Say no,
Yep.
say no, say no. Otherwise, whatever is our little nemesis is going to come knocking up the door, right?
Mhm.
But when you get to that point where you find your equilibrium, which I promise you, you can, folks, you find that equilibrium, you are now in control of it. It's not in control of you.
Yes, yes, and it's just, as we've said, it's about listening
Mm.
to your body, listening to the signs because it will continue to knock
Oh,
and it will
yes.
get louder and louder and then it will try a 2x4 and then it will throw
Hmm.
you into a wall,
Yes.
right? Until
And,
you're like, "Oh, okay.
I got the
Uncle, I give
message.
it." Right?
I
Exactly.
tried to text you, but you ignored my text. So yes, I mean that's the thing is that we're so busy chasing an outside life. This I need approval, I need validation, I need to be seen. That we completely ignore the turmoil that's going on the inside. And
Yes.
when we're at dis-ease, disease steps in. And we have to understand that whatever is going on that is causing you to be separated from self will manifest in your health. It
Yep.
will show up and you will pay the price for it. And if you are being hit with something, don't berate yourself. Please don't persecute yourself, but
Mm-mm.
just understand that life needs to change. And if you want to be in the driver's seat, that you've got to make sure that you do your research as to who can help you get there.
Right, absolutely. Because we are always at choice.
Yes.
Even in the most difficult of times, like, do I want to react or can I pause and breathe and respond to this moment differently
Yeah.
that is supportive versus detrimental to my health and my well-being? And it takes self-awareness to be able to do that because we're
Yeah.
all driven by our amygdala and our fight flight or
Mm,
fear
yes.
mechanisms, right? So it's like, oh, okay, hmm, what what can I do differently here? How can I react
Mm,
differently that is going to take me into a new path versus keep spinning in the same circle?
yeah. I always believe that when something happens negative, like it did with you, bullied out of your job, there is a reason for it, right? It was your redirect,
Yes, no, not
right?
that. Look over
And
here.
but at the time, right, it feels like the earth has opened up and swallowing you, and like the injustice of it and everything else. And you've got to go through those emotions when injustice is given to you in any way. But at some point, you've got to go, okay, this happened to me, but let's change my thinking of it's happened for me. What am I meant to do with it?
Right, absolutely. I was recently listening to the book called The Book of Joy,
Mm,
which is the documentary basically of the conversation between the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu, the Archbishop.
mm,
And it's such a joyful,
yes.
joyful thing to listen to because they have you know folks who are doing the voiceover that have captured their essence and their
Hmm.
accents and whatnot. And it's their look at, well, what is joy?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's a choice. The Dalai Lama talks about being exiled from his country and
Hmm.
how painful that was and how dangerous it was. And it took him a while,
Hmm.
he admits, to get past his anger.
Hmm.
And he also sees the blessings in it of how it has enabled him to be out in the world in ways that he wouldn't
Yes,
have otherwise been able to
right.
do.
He would have been waiting for people to come to him, and now he is going to people. So he's had so much a bigger impact. And yes, like when we're in something, I'm sure that, when the shoot was going on with you, the last thing you were thinking, this is happening for me, right? It's
Right.
and we have to go through the emotions. Like always, I firm believe that we need to spend the emotion, pain, anger, this and that. You need to release it, but don't become emotional about it, because then that's when we step into victimization, right? And if we step into victimization, we're empowering them,
Yes.
right? And when we say, okay, fine, shoot happened, right? I'm now going to take a different direction. What path is there before me? And be willing to explore what path is before you. And for you, I mean, had we spoken to the past you and said, you're going to be a hypnotherapist and help people kind of come from the inside out and embrace their flawsomeness, what would you have said to yourself at that time?
I would have been like, what? What
Yeah.
is like when I first so when I got bullied out of my high tech career, my uncle, who's a Silicon Valley, OG, he's like, there's this new thing called career coaching. I was like, okay. Like, I have no idea what that is, but I need something or somebody to tell
Mm,
me what to do now because I was a deer in
lost.
the headlights,
Yeah.
totally, totally lost. Like, I had spent 10 years becoming that title and
Mm,
then it got stripped away. And I was like, what?
yeah.
Right?
Who am I now?
Who am I now? And what is that supposed to be? And so I found my first coach and started working with them. And they asked me a really profound question that I think changed the trajectory of my life, which was, well, what are your core values? What's
Mm,
most important to you? And I was like, wow, nobody's ever asked me that.
right.
I never thought about it before. And upon reflection, I realized building multi-million dollar websites, I didn't really care about.
Mm,
Right. I really wanted to be creative and help people and make a difference and have an impact, even though I
hmm
had no idea what that meant
hmm
or how that was supposed to look. And it was kind of a thunderbolt moment where my whole body just like lit up, like my spirit
mm,
dropped in and said, yes,
yes.
this is what you're here to do. I was like, okay. And so I pivoted. I went, got trained and certified as a professional coach, and I've been doing it now. I just actually had my 24th anniversary last
Wow.
week. So,
Bravo.
thanks. And so it's truly a calling and a passion. And I understand that not everybody has those thunderbolt
Mm,
moments,
no, no.
but we all have access to them if we allow ourselves to be cracked open,
Yeah.
because I think that's what's required to help create that understanding and that shift.
And you brought up a good point there. We don't all get this thunderbolt. Sometimes it could just be kids have grown. They don't need you as much anymore. Either empty house syndrome, or it's like, okay, I've been mum for the last 20 years. Who am I now? And what do I want to do? And the one of the problems with that is that when you start looking at career, then when you plug in that career thought, it takes you back 20 years before,
Mm.
right? And it's like, oh no, but I'm not that age anymore. I can't do that anymore, or I don't want to do that anymore. And a lot of people dismiss how flawsomely awesome you are in being a parent, and all that you have to do: head cook,
Right.
bottle washer, healer, psychopath, therapist, driver, sex god, those skills and transfer them into something you are passionate about. Now you've been passionate about your family, right? Well, now it's your turn. What's your passion that you want to do, how you can make a difference? And you've got to be willing to explore. It's not like, oh, I'm going
Yes.
to do this. No, no, explore the journey. See where it takes you. And I guarantee if you're willing to walk the path, there is something that A will resonate with you and you realize, I've been doing that all along, or I have an aptitude for this and I didn't know it. Right. And then you meet this person, you have this experience, and that self-discovery of who you really are and what you really want to do will reveal itself. And there you have made that discovery of your next chapter of life.
Yes, and it's such a powerful experience to do
Yes.
that. And it's a journey, right?
Mm,
Which is why I created my program for women called Reclaiming Your True Self. a,
mm,
tr- a a journey of healing and transformation, because
yes.
it's just that, like, I've been all of these things, but who am I now? Who do I choose to be
Mm,
versus who I thought I was supposed to be,
mm,
or the box that I had been placed into,
mm,
right? And so over 4 months, in a small group of women, we're able to individually and collectively get at those root causes with coaching and hypnotherapy to really help them find and peel off the old layers that no longer serve
right,
them
right.
and allow their authentic selves to really start to shine through and lead the way instead of being, kind of hidden at the back of the bus.
You know this terminology, you're no longer the woman I married. No, I hope not. I hope
Right?
we evolve. Could you evolve too, please? That's the whole point. We're meant to evolve. We are
Absolutely.
beautiful divine beings having a human experience, and it's living that together. And when we live from the inside out, from the core of our beingness, from the essence of our soul energy and our heart purpose and our spirit action, our mind will then know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. And then we bring to the human side of us our ability to be of service and contribute to the world. But getting there requires let go of ego, let go of expectation, let go of past dictation, let go of pain, let go of that. Become a blank slate, become your own canvas. Paint
Yes.
from the soul, from the heart, from the spirit, and don't dictate what you're painting. Allow, allow the
Yes.
picture to reveal. It is really, truly awesome when people step out of the expectation of what I should do and go into what my heart and soul and spirit desires me to do, and then to see what is in front of you and go, gosh, that was in me all this time.
Right? It's the removing of those blinders once
Yes.
again at a deeper level so that folks can see what is their heart actually yearning for.
Yeah.
It's very easy to fall into the roles that society dictates to us, right? I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. And even though I've had my business for 24 years, I realized how many of those years I was actually just trying to prove myself and my
Mm.
worth to my family.
Hmm.
Right? See, I'm an entrepreneur too. See,
Yeah.
it just looks different than what you did and how
Yeah.
you did it. And and when I finally realized that, I was like, oh, there was a lot of freedom. And I'm like, I'm just going to do me and in my way, and it's going to look the way it's going to look. And either they will either like it or don't like it, or they'll get it or they won't get it. But it doesn't really matter because I'm doing it for my heart and my soul's expression.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is we all wear many hats in life. Um, my kids see me as mum or grandma, right? They don't see me as Sarah. They don't really know this woman, right? And that's okay because they see me in the way they need me.
Right.
I am still the same person. All I do is channel where they're at. As long as it doesn't cost me myself, I can give them what they need. Honestly and truly, it's just a different version of me. And I know people that have gone on the healing thing and become, and it's like, no, nobody's going to shit me up. I'm not going to bend for anyone. I'm not going to do this and that. And that's not the point. The point is fluidity, is to be so at one with yourself that you can go with the flow without it costing you, without it hurting you, right? And it's to be fluid, our oxygen, our blood, our chi. our fiber optics, everything in our very body is in flow. When it's not in flow, we're in trouble. So our
Hmm.
thoughts and our feelings and our emotions and our essence must be in flow. Do not bind it or dictate it because you're just going to run into trouble.
Yeah, and it's easy to get caught in that trap. Well, I
Yeah.
expect it to look a certain way.
Yes.
I want this outcome and I want it now,
Yeah.
right? It's when we hold on tightly
Yes.
to those outcomes and the way it's supposed to look, how it should look, that we get all, our knickers in a twist and then
Mm.
things don't go the way we want, right? So it's,
And then it's
uh,
snapperoo.
right, right. And so, you know, sometimes we need to be reminded of this,
Mm.
right? I just this past weekend, I had to be reminding myself of this. And so um, every Monday at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. British Standard Time, I do Mindful Minute Mondays. And it's 30
Mm.
minutes of guided meditation. It's free for anyone who wants to come. And our meditation this week was all about allowing and receiving. Like, oh right, I needed this one today. So
One of my favorite words, allow.
yeah,
Allow. Surrender, go step out into the abyss, blind, deaf, and dumb in order to see, hear, and feel, right? Do not dictate. I want to be in control. The
yeah,
universe
that's
is
an
in
illusion.
control. Oh, yeah. We are more in control when we let go of control.
Yes,
And I know for people, they don't quite get that. But when you get here, you understand,
right.
right? I'm in control of my boundaries. I'm in control of what energy I wish to be in. I'm in control of what I put out and what I'm willing to receive. But what happens in that receiving and what's happening around me, I'm not in control of, but I am in control of how I'm going to react to it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's always a choice
Yes.
when we're consciously aware that we have choice, right? Because it's easy to get caught in that unconscious mode
Mm.
when bad things are happening, right? Why is this happening to me? I don't understand, fist to the sky
Yeah.
of, and it's like, okay, this is what's happening in this moment. We can push against it, right?
Hmm.
No, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. It's pushing rocks uphill and it's exhausting, right? So instead, if we could just be with what's so
Mm.
and then choose how to be with that moment until it shifts to a different moment.
Yeah. Sit with it, right? And it's like I've been through all the twists and the turns and the journeys and the discovery and this and that. And then you have your illuminating moments where it's aha, and you ride that wave, and then you realize there's something else to learn, and I'm going to be dropping
Yeah.
down into the valley while I learn it. And instead of going, aha, I want to stay up in this bliss, it's like, okay, but there's even more bliss to have when I go and learn more. And it's willing to go there and pay attention. How many people? I have a course with people in my own coaching. It's called A View of Life. Take people on a metaphorical journey. And in one of the things that it reveals is how little people pay attention to the signs in life. And the signs are there all the time. But we're so busy, destination, destination, I want to get there, I want to get there, that we don't just sit and go, well, what's in my surroundings that I need to pay attention to?
Yeah, I earlier this year I was completing with a client and one of her big ahas from our work together was realizing that she had spent so much time trying to get the solutions perfect every single
Yeah.
time. And instead, she had this aha of, oh, I actually really like
Hmm.
the journey of finding the pieces and parts of the puzzle to
Yes.
come to the solution. And it was one of those twofer moments like, oh,
Yes.
yes, thank you for the reminder. So I have a little sticky note on my wall that says, the journey is the best part.
It is. I
Right.
used to be the hair because I'm a visionary. So I would see how people are going to feel in that arena. And, let's do it. Ba, 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 ba. Can you see how it is all going to be? And rush. right? Because I want to see it into fruition. Can't everybody else see it like I can? And just through age and circumstances and experience and coming back home to self, I've become the tortoise. And being
Mm.
the tortoise, I can take my time. I can meet people along the way. I can pick up all those beautiful wisdoms that are maybe under a leaf or behind a twig and pay attention to them. And there's something I never would have thought way back that slowing down would be the perfect speed.
Yes, yes, that is a, a hard, well, I'll say it's been a challenging lesson for me because I
Hmm.
move at high speeds, right? I
Right.
think fast, I move fast, I process fast. Um, and my work as a coach has taught me so much on how to meet people where they are.
Mm,
And if you're working with someone who's operating in a different place or different speed or different vibration, okay, let me just bring my energy down, tamper it down a little bit and be with them in that
yes.
place, because that then creates that safe container and allows people to open up in ways that wouldn't otherwise be possible. I'm
Matching
excited because
frequencies.
right. I'm excited because I've moved into the next step of my journey, and I've decided to go back to grad school to get my master's in marriage and family therapy. And, will help take my work to a deeper, broader, richer level. And
And so needed.
yeah, I'm
So
like, well,
needed.
I
I
don't
mean,
think
yeah.
we're going to run out of anxious people
No,
anytime
I
soon.
don't think so. I don't think, and like, let's face it. I mean, I certainly did it, and I married at 28, and I thought, kind of, I knew myself and da 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 da, and we marry where we're at, right? And then we wonder why the relationship doesn't work because unless we're willing to grow together, individually and together, we are only as strong as each of us are strong. And
Yes.
when each of us are strong and at home with self, then when we come together and lock together, we can weather any storms, right?
Yes.
Because that's the us. But the us isn't going to be as strong if we're both fragile and we don't know how to lock. I mean, and it's, define me, do this, do. No, no, it isn't. It's you want to go into a relationship with self love, with self acceptance,
Yeah.
with this is what my frequency and my vibration is, and you want to match that with someone. So don't rush into a relationship or rush into marriage because you want the wedding or you want the kids or you want that. You can have kids without marriage nowadays. You can do a lot of things, but take the journey to become who you are. Then that frequency will match with someone else out there. And then when you come together, you don't complete each other, you complement each other.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, that was another hard lesson to learn. Like, oh, yeah, that didn't work.
Yeah, no, no, exactly. And, like, let's face it, end of a job or end of a career, as we know it, can be painful, but end of a marriage, especially if there's kids, it's always sad because it's an end of a lifestyle
hmm
and
It's
it's an
also
end
the
of,
end of a dream,
yes, exactly,
right? And
exactly.
I think that was probably the hardest part for me. It was like,
Mm,
oh, my dream just got shattered.
yeah. I always
And
thought that we would do this and do that, and nope.
right, right. And so, I look at my parents who are coming up on their 66th wedding
Wow,
anniversary, which
amazing.
is so rare, and business partners throughout most of their
Wow.
lifetime together. So they
Talk about
are
locked synergy.
right, right. And I thought, yeah, that would be me. And it wasn't. And it was like, okay, well, I have a different path. I don't know what that looks like, but it continues to unfold every day. And um, apparently, I'm here to, help others find their path and to heal their hearts. And that's what brings me joy every day.
What it shows us is there's different ways to love,
Yes.
that we don't always need a partner. Yes, no, it's very nice having a partner, going holidays together, going out together, snuggling together, watch TV show, very, very nice, but not at the expense of ourselves, right?
Right.
And there's ways of receiving and showing love that are different, but also very, very fulfilling. And I think we're seeing so much today of our younger generation not marrying choosing their partners or investing in themselves. So many people not remarrying because unless they can find that perfect, here we go, perfect again, but that complementary vibrational match, it's like, no, I'm not going to do it for the sake of a title, for the sake of being a Mrs. And I think this is where we need to be at because we see too many people stepping into relationships that really haven't felt it out, never mind thought it out.
Right, absolutely. And I would assert that many people have lost touch
Mm,
with the feelings of themselves.
yes.
Like I had a client I was working with. I'm like, so how does that feel? Or where do you feel that in your body? And she was like, I don't, I don't.
Mm,
She's like, if I'm really, really upset, I might feel some tingling in my fingers.
mm.
I was like, wow, okay. And and so there are many folks I think that have shut down
Yes.
how they're feeling because at some point in their life it was too much, and that
Became a
was the
defense.
right, that was how they protected themselves, right?
Hmm.
I'm a highly sensitive person. I
Hmm.
feel I have big emotions. I feel other people's emotions no matter where they are on the
Hmm.
planet. If I'm tuned in, I'm like, oh, I feel that in your chest right now. What's that going on? And, growing up, all I heard was, oh, you're so sensitive. Don't be a
I know.
baby, right?
Oh
Until I
God.
realized, oh, this is actually my superpower,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
I get to use it as a mirror, as a reflection
Mm.
for the folks that I get to work with to help them see into themselves and then start to explore that a little bit more because we oftentimes operate from our head up, right?
No, no, no,
We've
yeah.
cut ourselves off from
Yeah.
feeling our
Yeah.
bodies, which is why we get into the states of dis-ease and disease that
Yes.
become so prevalent.
I let's leave the head out of it, right? Let's tap into the heart, the spirit, and the soul. The soul is the energy. It's the wisdom in that energy. The heart
Hmm.
resonates with that in truth. The spirit is the action for the mind to know its clarity when it needs to know it. But let's step out of the head because the head is data. It's also expectation. It's also hungry for more knowledge, right? Or what to do with that knowledge. The wisdom helps you know what to do with that knowledge. But to go from it from a head perspective and not the heart, soul, and spirit perspective or the intellect of it, then you are flapping in the wrong way. Is I know what it's like to not feel, to feel numb. It is a defense mechanism you shut down. To
Hmm.
come back to life again, to ignite yourself again, requires a great deal of trust. Trust in the person that's helping you. Trust that it's safe to come out. And we have to do that though, because if we don't, apathy will set in and you'll feel nothing and not
Hmm.
care about anything. And you'll put yourself and anybody else you love in danger because of that. We are designed to feel. We are
Yes, we
designed
are.
to 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 be a part of that feeling, but we want the good feelings. To recognize the bad feelings. Yes, we don't have to relish in there, but to feel those good feelings because when we do, we ooze that out. We resonate that out. But it does require a lot of what I call cosmic trust, trust in yourself to know your boundaries, right?
Right.
And trust in that what you're feeling is really honest and true.
Absolutely. Yeah. It took me a long time to recognize what was really true for
Mm,
me instead of who I thought I was supposed to be and
yeah.
how I thought my life was supposed to look. And it didn't go that way.
Mm,
And I was like, okay, now what? So, a wise teacher once shared with me this question to ponder when we feel stuck. What's needed now?
mm,
And just asking the universe, like as you go to sleep at night and when you wake up in the morning, what's needed now?
yes.
And I always add to that so I can be well used at the end of the day, that my
Yeah.
energy, my heart, my spirit can be of greatest contribution to the highest good of
Mm.
everyone involved, right? Um, and it looks different on different days, that's for sure.
But it's also asking that, but getting out of the way and allowing yourself to receive, because we don't recognize what's needed now if we're in dictation or expectation. If we're just
Right.
in what's needed now,
Yeah.
then it will be revealed. And it's always revealed in the most bizarre ways. But that's
Right.
just paying attention to the signs. That's paying attention and being part of the fiber optics out there, really kind of connecting. And then we can feel it and we're drawn to something or we're drawn to someone. Well, that's what's needed right now. That's the answer you're needing right now. Or you are the answer for someone right now.
Hmm.
But if we're not paying attention to the signs and we don't act on those signs, then what's the point of the message?
Right. Right. We have to pay attention and see what there is to see. Yesterday, I was in a meeting in downtown San Francisco up on the 23rd floor. And this building in particular has these ghost like faceless statues that go all the way around the building. And the conference room is right just above the tops of them. And this beautiful, I think it was a hawk, but it was huge,
Mm,
came and sat down on top of this statue and turned around and was looking at me. And it sat there for like 30 minutes,
hmm
this beautiful vista overlooking all of
hmm
San Francisco. And I was like, oh, it's a beautiful message,
Yes,
for me of reminding me to maintain that higher perspective
yes,
and to see what there is to see from that bigger view versus getting caught down in the weeds.
yeah.
But it was such a gift. I've never been that close
hmm
to a bird of that size. I have my own bird, but she's much
mm
smaller. And and to just let it just sat there. Like, I mean, we literally it was just feet away from us, but there was very thick glass in between. So, but
Well, it obviously knew you were a bird lady because, yes, you do
yeah.
have a beautiful bird. But it also is that there is always something that will keep repeating, will keep coming back to you because that is the messenger. And you learn to recognize it, you learn to feel its knowledge. Trees is very much, breeze, trees, and water are very much my message. And like, going for a walk with the trees and the leaves rustling. I don't know what they're saying to my brain, but I know what they're saying to my spirit,
Mm.
right? And the water is such a conduit. There's so much to be revealed there. And the wind, when it just blows all the cobwebs away and it just releases you from things. Mother Nature is here to support you. Tap in, tap into animals. Oh my God, any animal, birds, animal, furry ones, they are so divinely intuitive
Oh,
and
yes.
and they have such messages and support for you. So, while you're going through this, you're there to help them have the right tools and skills and how to use them on their journey of life. You're not doing the journey for them. You're giving them the assistance on their journey. But
Absolutely.
along the way, there's going to be other supporters like animals, a cat, a dog, a bird, a tree, whatever, that will come along. And again, pay attention to the signs, pay attention to where the support is. I don't believe in suffering. I think that is the choice. We do struggle, but the struggle doesn't have to be hard if we're willing to go with the flow and allow.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So the book is out now.
Oh, yes. The book was published last year. I Am Perfectly Flawsome: How Embracing Imperfection Makes Us Better, with my co author, Tom Collins. And the bowl on the front is a Japanese kintsugi bowl, which is the art and philosophy of golden
Yes.
repair. So
Mm,
they take broken pottery, put it back together, and mend the cracks with gold dust so it is
mm,
more valuable and more beautiful than before. So we apply that same philosophy to ourselves when we can mend our own cracks with gold, with self-love.
mm,
Then we are wiser and more valuable than we were before the
absolutely.
breakage or the cracks. And it just makes us stronger and wiser.
And it just shows our resilience, that whatever storm comes, we can weather it because we've weathered so many before. And it
Yes.
doesn't have to be difficult this time because we know what to do. We know we have the skills and the tools, and we're calm about facing whatever we have to face. So, the more you immerse yourself into this journey, the calmer you become, more peaceful you
Yes.
become, and the more you know how to walk away from something, walk towards something, embrace something, let go of something. Just that wisdom is always there for you if you're ready and allow, to receive it.
And
And
listen for it.
yeah,
Yes,
listen for it.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and recognize in which way it comes to you, because it generally does repeat itself. So recognize it, and it doesn't matter if anybody thinks you're woo woo or this or that. That's their opinion. They're
I've
entitled
been
to
I've
it.
been called
They don't need
woo
to.
adjacent. I'm like, I'll take
Uh,
that. I'll take
yeah, yeah,
woo adjacent.
yeah.
So,
I've been called many, many things because I was born that way, and in my day, it used to be kind of careful of the white coats when you were
mm,
speaking that way. But now finally our souls are penetrating our hearts and our minds, and waking us up and showing us there's so much more than the humanoidism, that we are beautiful divine human beings with so much more to do and to be. And we
yes.
can't do until we become. Right? That's the most important thing. Now, I know you have a free gift for people. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. I mentioned it earlier. Please come join me for Mindful Minute Mondays. Every Monday at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. British Standard Time. And it's just 30 minutes of guided meditation in community. Register once and come when you can.
Mhm.
And um, we take everyone through kind of a mindfulness body scan, and we set our intentions for the coming week. So
Which is something that we need. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much you think you've got together. Sometimes we don't realize we're a little off kilter, and we just need something to bring us back home, bring us back to center,
yes,
and just kind of, especially like the Mondays, right? It just helps us take that breath and be on the right energy
yes,
moving forward, right?
absolutely. It's a great way to start your week off with more clarity and
Hmm.
calm so that then you can do your good work in the world with greater ease and joy.
Now, to find the book, they can go to
They can
I.
go to Amazon. You can go to Barnes and Noble. It's on other smaller book vendors as well. You can go to michellemolitor.com and
Can you spell
read
that
all
for
about.
people just listening, love?
Sure. So Michelle, Michele, Molitor, Molitor.com, michellemolitor.com. And you can read about the book. You can get a whole boatload of other free downloads in the brain candy section. And if you go to my YouTube channel, there's a variety of guided meditations and other videos there for people to imbibe.
And people can connect with you on LinkedIn through your name, YouTube with your
Yes.
name, Instagram, Wire, Facebook, your name. And then you've also got Reclaiming Your True Self group exclusively for women, rapidwire.com, Reclaiming Your True Self. And of course, people can also go to IamPerfectlyFlawsome.com to find the book as well.
Yes, absolutely. So many places.
I always say that books are a wonderful gift that keep on giving, because it's something you can revisit. I like sometimes just going to a book and say, what do I need to know today? And just opening it up
Yes, I do
and
that
letting
too.
that something speak to me, because that's what I need to know. But also, a book is a wonderful gift to give. And we have Christmas around the corner. And
Yes,
so
thank you.
you may know somebody that's going through a transformation or needing to
Bear with
transform.
me.
And
Oh.
then the book is a great gift to give at that time.
Yes, and
So
even comes with a journal. There's also a journal for it as well. So the I am
wonderful.
perfectly flawsome journal, trying to get the O-ring not to look shine on it, but yeah.
And that's the
So
thing is like you're reading, what does it mean to you? I encourage people to have a podcast and take notes, group people, and then share what each of them have learned afterwards. And all those
yes,
different perspectives sheds light on the bigger picture. But that's the thing where by reading the book and doing the journal at the same time is what is it revealing about you? Because that's the thing. We walk around and we're just unaware of how much we're unaware of. And when people
yes,
make us
yes.
aware of it, now we can do something about it. We can empower ourselves to do something about it. But it's like once you're aware, you care. When you care, you do something about it, but you can't be unaware anymore.
Exactly. Well, there's even in the back of the book, there's even a book club guide. So if you want to come together in a circle and have
Yeah.
everyone read it, then there's questions and whatnot to help guide you through those discussions too. So I hope that it gets into all the hands that it needs to help create a little bit more light in themselves and understanding to make life more peaceful and joyful.
And of course, if people want to reach out to you, they can either go for the social media mediums or reach out to you and have a chat if they want to be your client. I always recommend read the book. But if you've read, listen to the show and you've already made a connection here, reach out because
Yes,
we
please.
are not meant to do this alone. We are not meant
Exactly.
to. It is our journey to take. But there are people here to help you along the way with their skills and the tools and the support and the cheerleading for you to apply. Remember, my shows are about listen, learn, and apply. Well, when you find that person that you have a synergy with, and you've got a synergy with Michele, reach out. You've got to do the work. She will just help you along the way. And I promise you, come on in. The waters are great. It's such a
Exactly.
better place to be. So be willing to invest the time, the money, the expertise, everything into yourself. You are worth it.
Absolutely. Couldn't said it better myself. So thank you, Miss Sarah. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for what you do, for embracing your redirect, for always in discovery, your own self-discovery, but discovery of how else you can do it, and for caring. And if we don't care about what we do, we're not doing it right. Right. And when we truly do care, that's when we really start seeing and feeling the big impact that we can make. So
Yes.
thanks for caring. So
Yes.
to everyone else out there, I wish you well, and I wish you in your own self-discovery to reach out and allow someone to help you on your journey. Because as I said, you're not meant to do it alone. We've got you. Okay. Until next time. Bye for now.